I saw 2 videos recently, almost back to back, where people made tea using a hollowed out orange peel. Like they poked holes in it, put the tea, the loose leaf tea inside, and poured the water through. So yeah, let's try that. I do have an orange, but I'm actually thinking grapefruit, because I feel like it could add some flavor. Does it add flavor? That's what I'm interested to know. A grapefruit is nice and big though, and it feels like it should be fairly easy to scoop out the innards. You know? Okay, here's my actual question about this. Tea does not work like coffee. Coffee, you just pour it through the grounds, but tea is supposed to steep. The water is supposed to sit around the tea elements, not just pour through them. And that's what I don't get, because it kind of looked like everybody was just pouring the hot water through, and that doesn't seem like it's gonna give you good tea, which is making me think I should try this with coffee. All right, that's been well washed. I feel like this is the better side to use, so I'm actually gonna cut it like slightly unevenly in half. Am I putting way too much thought into this? I love grapefruit. Oh, that smells good. We also do have 2 grapefruit spoons, because we had these when I was a kid, but now they're like really hard to find. Or they were for a while at least. So when I found them, I got them. Should I just squeeze this first? Or I could just stand here eating all of it. This half already has a really nice hole in it, so maybe I should just use this half. Okay. We have a nice vessel here. Could fit a lot of tea in that. We also have a lovely amount of grapefruit, which I will absolutely be using later. I should boil some water. And then as far as type of tea, I got this collection of like a tea sampler. It was a collection of teas. I think it might be all of them from Keats & Co. because I don't like a lot of tea. Oh god, I'm gonna fall over. I'm not actually a huge tea fan, but I have recently started liking more tea, but still only like specific ones, and I don't know which ones. So I've been trying to figure that out. Which one would be good through a grapefruit rind, though? I think not anything with mint in it. I don't know that grapefruit and mint really go together. Glowing Gold Chamomile? Sweetbriar Botanical? April Meadows Green seems more like a neutral flavor, so I might be able to tell more if the grapefruit flavor goes into it. Let's do that. I do need to poke some holes though. I'm not really sure how many. What if you poke the holes kind of higher up, so then the tea is sitting down here, and the water, I still don't know if that actually would make it steep. Is that enough? Yeah, we're gonna try that. Ugh. Riveting. Is it even going through? Really, really slowly. Okay, so it is steeping because it's only pouring through like a tiny drip. I'll give that a few minutes and then we'll see. Okay, I ended up propping it up with toothpicks so that it was a bit raised out of the glass and there was more room for liquid, because I did see somebody doing that in one of the 2 videos. And the bag said that this only steeps for 2 to 3 minutes, and it has been more than that. Yeah, it's really dripping out slowly, y'all. I might have to poke more holes. Hot grapefruit peel, yay. I'm questioning whether this is worth the effort, but at the same time, everything I've used so far on loose leaf tea has just like made a mess, and the loose leaf tea always goes out of the thing and into my tea. So, you know, is this better? Maybe. There's no tea getting out. No tea leaves. There's almost no tea getting out. Ooh. Nothing. Are citrus peels self-healing? When I poke a hole, it seems pretty big, but then almost nothing comes out of it. All right, I've poked a lot of holes now. Oh, and I poked some tea through. Well, that defeated the whole purpose. I can definitely smell the grapefruit strongly, but then like I am just smelling the peel, not necessarily the tea. Grapefruits as colanders. What do we think? I mean, technically they work. Yeah, I think they do almost have a self-healing property with the pith on the inside. Because I'll stab a hole, and as soon as I pull this out, there's like a bloop of water, and then it slows down to a very slow drip. I think that pith is like coming back together, and it's not totally sealing up the hole, but it is partially sealing it up. Have people done studies on citrus peel and its incredible qualities? All right, we're calling it. I will say this tea looks very cloudy, and I can also see like an oil sheen on the surface, which makes sense because there is oil in citrus peel, all of them. You can feel it on your hands if you're ever zesting. And that implies to me that it will taste like grapefruit a little bit because that oil is a big part of that citrus flavor, I think. I don't know, at this point I feel like I might be imagining it, but I am smelling like hint of grapefruit. Yeah, it tastes like grapefruit, but not like the fruit. There is a solid hint here. If like getting smashed in the face with it is a hint of grapefruit peel, like the pith. There's a bitterness to it. Which granted, tea is already kind of bitter, so I don't hate it. I think if you like bitter things, you might like this. Now granted, everybody was using oranges in the videos, and orange peel is not as bitter. Like grapefruit peel definitely has a bitterness to that pith particularly that is more extreme than other citrus, I think. Should try this in a lemon. So does it work? Technically, yes. Does it affect the flavor in a way that is enjoyable? Technically, yes, depending on what you find enjoyable. I'm kind of enjoying it. We gotta try it with coffee. Definitely using an orange this time. I don't think grapefruit and coffee really go together. Orange and coffee works though. That like, I've seen people put those together in desserts. Okay, so again, I'm gonna do like the 2/3 thing. Ooh, I forgot it's a Cara orange. Ooh, those are so good. I don't know why I keep also cleaning out the top part, but I guess just in case we need a backup. This will never be more than just a funny experiment, because who's gonna hollow out an orange every morning so they can have their coffee? I guess it's the whole like, if you're on a desert island and you have oranges and coffee and boiling water, but you don't have a coffee filter. All right. Good times. Why was cleaning out the grapefruit easier? All right, in theory, that should be good. We'll use that later. So I think the problem potentially here is that coffee grounds are even finer and smaller typically than loose leaf tea. So I wonder if I should poke the holes higher up so that the coffee grounds at least aren't sitting on top of them. Because these are big enough holes that I think the coffee would just immediately fall through before water was even introduced. Let's boil some water. Oh, Well, that might be a problem. My holes are kind of higher up than the container, so I might have to do this right into a mug. I think there all of the holes are slightly inside. And it's poetic. All right, here we go. Get in there. Okay, it's happening. I forgot to hit record. Grand. I poked a few more holes. because it was dripping incredibly slowly, and now it's dripping like very, very slowly, but not incredibly slowly anymore. See that? There's coffee down there. I think this is just gonna take ages. There's also guaranteed to be some amount of coffee grounds or sludge in the bottom of this, which is fine. I'm mostly interested to find out how much it tastes like orange, because like the grapefruit flavor getting into the tea is not that surprising to me. And of course some flavor is gonna get in, but coffee is way stronger of a flavor to be battling against the light essence of orange peel. I think come back in like 15 minutes. Okay, legitimately, y'all, I think we can say that like this doesn't work. And it's again because of those like self-healing properties. The holes that I poked were big enough to see through, but the longer that this sat there, the less that it dripped. Like water should have just been able to run through those holes. And no. And then I started poking tons more holes, and like, look at that. It's like a drip now and then. And I poked so many holes in here, which means also the coffee grounds. Coffee grounds? Did I get very New York there? The coffee grounds have all been coming through and are definitely going to be in the bottom of this. But I am still very interested in the flavor, because if you're ever making a coffee dessert, steeping the coffee in an orange peel or with orange peel, I don't know, could be a great way to get the flavor in. Just spitballing here. It does smell amazing. Like the mixed smell of coffee and orange is really good. Oh God, I need to put this somewhere. It can go right in my compost bucket. Let's see how much sludge is in the bottom of this. Not a ton, but a lot. Yeah, that's what went through. So, not ideal. You know what? That's some orange flavored coffee. If you get the beans that are like hazelnut coffee or vanilla coffee or something. I don't really go for flavored coffees anymore, but I used to more when I was younger. And I'd say this level of flavor is on par with that. Cause like, that's not the same as getting a latte where they put vanilla syrup into the latte. The beans are flavored somehow. This feels like that. It's like, that's coffee, and I'm getting the hint of orange behind it. And it's much more pleasant than the grapefruit in the tea because it's not as stringently bitter. Yeah, it actually goes pretty dang well. So ultimately, can you make coffee in an orange peel? I guess yes. Can you like realistically every morning make coffee in an orange peel? No, that was redonkulous. But does coffee made in an orange peel taste good? Yes. Fun times. We're gonna do more drink stuff now. And by now I mean later, but now for you. We planted a kumquat tree, but it is small and struggling for reasons that I cannot quite figure out. So I don't expect to get kumquats this year or possibly even next year. So I got some at the farmer's market, but every time I buy kumquats, I then realize that I don't know what to do with them. Like, they're fun to snack on, but I generally only want to eat one at a time, and then I have a whole bowl of them. I often end up making marmalade, but I'm gonna make juice this time. So if you've never had a kumquat, you can actually eat the entire peel. It's really thin, and it's got like a slight bit of that bitterness, but not very much at all. They're pretty sour. So I'm gonna stick this whole bowl in the blender because the seeds are the annoying part. That's the only thing you don't really want to eat, so you have to spit them all out. I'm gonna stick the whole thing in the blender and then strain it. We'll see how that goes. And we can add the grapefruit and the Cara orange. Make a yummy juice. Can I do it in the small one? I'm forever trying to use like the single cup thing because it's just so much easier to wash. Dang it. I think that's too full. I also have some lemon juice. Yeah, that's still good. Now I can fit the rest in here. Ha ha. Oh, great. Don't make a mess, she said to herself, and then promptly did. Tastes pretty good. And now, in an effort to literally knock it out, the big boy, we're gonna do like a mix and swap. Hooray! I feel like a lot of my attempts to make less of a mess that I'll have to clean up end up making more of a mess. That's just how it goes. See? Mess. We're just embracing it at this point. Now we start straining. Yay! Although, quite frankly, I guess you could just drink it as is. It's just kind of smoothie consistency. Someone's home from a walk. Hi! Alright, I'll come back to you once I've strained all of this, because that's going to take a minute. What's happening? Okay, Matt got back from taking the puppy on a walk at that point, and we started making dinner, and everything got really loud and messy. But yeah, after straining, I had over 2 cups of rather thick juice and a nice bit of pulpy goodness. Pulpy goodness. The juice was just on the edge of too tart. I was okay with it, but Matt said, sugar please, so I added 2 teaspoons-ish of sugar, and Matt frothed that up just for the fun of it. Juice for all!
It tastes like Brazil in a way.
That's a thick juice.
I think my pocket just vibrated.
Wow. I also mixed a couple spoons of sugar into the pulp and then spread it out on a cookie sheet, planning to dehydrate it in the oven and turn it into like a fruit leather. Only I left the oven too hot and it just kind of baked into a crisp. It didn't work out. Yeah, well, worth a try. There's this drink that I've been loving lately. Start with a spoon or 2 of sugar and then zest a lemon into that. You want to make sure it's a pretty fine zest unless you're good with chunky drink textures. Rub the zest into the sugar with your fingers. This part is very important. I swear if you just throw zest in there and you don't rub it all around, it doesn't taste the same. Then squeeze the lemon in, and I usually leave that to sit for a little while. I have no idea if that makes a difference. I'm usually just like busy making lunch. We're making a Cobb salad today. Now, this part is not normal for me, but I just so happen to have some yuzu cocktail mix on hand, so I'm throwing some of that in too. It already has sugar in it, so I probably should have used less sugar to start with. Whoops, oh well. Now we finish it off with a can of ginger ale. The zest fizzes with the carbonation in a really cool way. I should look up why that is. Anyway, it's a pretty sweet lemonade sort of drink, but the mix of the ginger and the more bitter zest, that's not for puppies, gives it a really great flavor. It's such a good sit, though. I quite enjoy it. I have been wanting to make Brazilian lemonade for ages now, which ironically in Brazil, they call Swiss lemonade. Apparently there's reasons, I don't really know. I believe it is traditionally made with limes, which they do not refer to as limes in Brazil because it's a marketing thing in America. Limes are really yellow, just like lemons. But I mostly have lemons right now, so I'm gonna do it with lemons and 2 limes. What makes it so good? What makes it so different? They use the entire thing. They throw the entire lime or lemon into the blender, so you're getting all of that like bitter flavor from the peel. But then second thing, they also use sweetened condensed milk to sweeten it. They love sweetened condensed milk in Brazil. It's so good though. I love it because there's way more complexity of flavor. It sounds like it's gonna be really sweet, but it's usually not there. Sometimes it's not sweet at all. I don't think you always put sweetened condensed milk in it because at some restaurants I've had to like ask for it to be sweet. But yeah, I think it just builds those flavor layers because instead of your traditional lemonade that we're used to where it's sourness and sweetness, you now have sourness, sweetness, and bitterness. So, ooh, complex. Definitely gonna have to use the real blender for this. Worth it. Y'all, filming in this corner is so difficult. Okay, everything I read said that you should like pre-cut them up. Probably helps them blend a little faster. So we'll start with my 2 limes. And then, I don't know, maybe like 4 lemons? How much am I making? I don't know. Oh, that's already a lot. 1 more. All right, we're gonna try 2 limes, 3 lemons. And then we're adding 4 cups of water. Puppy. And then I looked at a couple different recipes and some said to add the sweetened condensed milk and also sugar. I'm just gonna do this. I think that's plenty. But some said to add it now before you blend it, and then other ones said to add it after you strain. I'm gonna wait and add it after I strain. I feel like it'll be easier to like test the sweetness levels then, because it's closer to what you're aiming for. Words. And then they did actually say you shouldn't blend it for too long. One recipe said it's because the longer you blend the peel, the more bitter it is. I think that's because the longer you blend it, the smaller the little bits of peel are getting, so then when you strain it, they're gonna come through. They suggested 15 seconds. I wasn't counting, but that seems fine. Ooh, you can smell the flavor of the peel in there. So now we strain it. Again, it's making me wonder if you could do anything with the pulp. I gotta get some cheesecloth for the kitchen, because then you can just squeeze it. Makes it so much easier. I think I had some and I just have used it all. That was pretty fast. It's definitely blending it for a short amount of time that is the key here. When I did the kumquat juice, I blended that so much thinking that that would give me, I don't know, like the most juice from it, I guess. But then it was like much harder to strain because it's not just big chunks like this. Do you dare me to eat a spoonful of this lemon lime pulp plain? You don't have to dare me, I'm gonna do it anyway. Is it gonna be super sour or super bitter? Both, but also neither that badly. That was actually pretty good. I have always really loved sour stuff. And then I gotta try this so I know how much sweetening it needs. That does taste like when you get the unsweetened stuff at restaurants there. Yeah, like so many times I've ordered limonada suiza, I believe that's correct, at a restaurant while I'm in Brazil, and then what you get is this, like no sugar in it whatsoever, and there's sugar on the table and you have to sweeten it yourself. So that is one form of Brazilian lemonade. It's not bad, but I'm gonna add the sweetened condensed milk. We're gonna have leftover, and so Matt said he'll make brigadeiro, another sweetened condensed milk Brazilian treat. The recipes that I looked at said half a cup. I don't feel like measuring it, so I think half a cup would be half of this container. This feels like a cup. We'll guesstimate though, cause that's fine. Oh yeah, sweetened condensed milk sinks to the bottom, so I'm actually measuring it right there on the side. I guessed pretty well. Spoon. Come out of there. Okay, second test. That's pretty good. Ugh. Really? You have a spout. You're not supposed to make a mess. Why? No! I swear. What the crap? What is the point of having a spout if the spout can't pour cleanly? Ugh. You're wasting my Brazilian lemonade. I think for me it could be even more lemony, but that might be because I'm used to tasting it with lime instead of lemon. So this is a bit of a cheater pumpkin eater, but I'm just gonna squeeze in a bit of lime juice to finish it off. Just pour, okay. Oh yeah, that's good. I've definitely had versions of this in Brazil. In fact, I feel like I've had more versions of this that are made with brown sugar instead of sweetened condensed milk. I'm not sure I've ever actually had it this way when I'm in Brazil. So that's another option as well. This is great though. Highly recommend. Not that hard to make. I mean, between squeezing lemons or limes versus throwing them in a blender and going bzzzt and then straining them, it's like equal amounts of labor. Let's take some to Matt, though, and see if he approves.
If I yung batch sana. It's good, but it doesn't taste at all like the lemonade. It's just, there's a very slight taste of lemon.
You know why it is, though? It's because I used lemons, and you guys use limes.
Oh, okay.
We didn't have too many limes, though. Oh, no!
It's good, though, because it's sweet.
Yeah. Okay, bye! This has been Drink Experiments with Charlie, and that's all the drink experiments I have for right now, so... Bye! Are you dirty? Ooh, I forgot how to swallow. Just pausing to put some butter out. Don't worry about it. Oh god. Ooh. Alright. The water is supposed to... What was that?